So for music, I'm really going to encourage you to use the Free Music Archive. You can of course find royalty-free music on YouTube, but if you search the Free Music Archive, you'll be able to find a lot of really awesome free music. So you can browse rapidly through genres, and let's just go for some electronic music. And all of this music is more or less free, and occasionally you'll find one that isn't, but for the most part, these will be good to roll. Now, finding good music is difficult. It's easy, but it's hard. Easy because all you have to do is click buttons, and I have no idea what this is going to be, so this is always a bit of a risk. Let's find out. Yeah, and that's loud actually, so I'll be a little I'll be careful. I'm not really crazy about that vibe. I'll keep going. That's a pretty nice one. Electron by Megatone. Sure, why not? We'll grab it. I'm actually just going to go ahead and download that. I understand and agree. And voila, I have the MP3 file. Now, I usually store these pieces in my music folder, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be bad and just drag it directly into my Premiere Pro project here. Once I've done that, I can just place it here in the music tracks. So the top are the visuals and the bottom are the audio tracks. And now, if we scroll to the beginning and hit play, of course the preview again is very laggy on my machine, probably because I'm screen recording simultaneously. If we shrink it down, it helps a little. And let's say that I'm happy with this. Now, what I would do is I would chop the end of the audio where I want the video to end by using the knife tool, and I can actually just delete that chunk. Now, that doesn't mean it's gone forever, because I can actually just drag this back out and re-extend that part that was hidden, or I can drag it back in and snap it back. I'll actually pull it out a little bit beyond, just a little bit beyond the end of the footage. What I'm going to do with the video footage too is I'm going to have it fade out, and I'm going to simultaneously have the music fade out with it. So to do so, I'm going to need to keyframe my footage to fade out, and then I'll have to add a fade out music effect. So I'm going to key my opacity to start at 100% on both of these clips. So I'll just activate those keyframes in the same time, and then when I get to the very end of those clips, I want to reduce that to 0% opacity. That length of time will be the length of the fade out. So there, it's going to fade out pretty quickly. I could also add a fade in at the beginning, which might be kind of nice. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'll key it actually where I want it to be fully visible. So here you can see the frame count. So I want this fade in to be about half of a second. So I'll key both of these opacity channels for these top two layers, and then I'll jump to the frame 0 and reduce the opacity down. And it's pretty nice. You can see the graph of this as well. So it's fading in, constant, fading out. Now, the audio transitions are going to be a little bit different. You could manually fade it out by changing the volume level and keyframing that, but actually in the audio transitions in the effects area, they actually have a crossfade. And you'll notice that this one in the middle has a blue highlight around it. And generally the constant power is the best sounding to our ear version of the fade out that Premiere has. So I'll actually just drag and drop that effect on, and you'll notice that it has added this little tan tail onto the effect. And if we hit play, now the music fades out smoothly. Now, it of course gets more complicated when you have more stuff happening or more audio layers, but you can have it fade in and out of each other and other things like that. But let's say we want to add a little bit of sound effects work into our video as well. Similarly to the Free Music Archive, there is an awesome website called freesound.org. What we can find on this website is a wide range of free sound effects. For example, if we want insect sounds, we can just search up insects, and here's some nice cicada audio. You'll notice here it's a .wav file, .wav, which is fine for us. So I'll actually just click onto this link, and I will need to make an account, which I already have. This is a free account that you can download. WAV files are uncompressed, so they're a bit larger, but for audio, that's okay. So now I have my cicada sounds. I'm going to crop them as well. I'm actually going to have them fade in and fade out. And actually, I'm just going to have it play in the middle. So I'm just going to drag those in. And now I have some cicadas that in the middle, when it starts getting rather distorted, the cicadas will come in. Now, I can already tell just from me scrubbing over that they're going to be very loud. And since they're going to be very loud, all I want to do is right-click on them, and we're going to go to audio gain, and I'm going to minus, let's say, 6 on the decibel scale. Now they should be a bit quieter. Yeah, I'll go even lower. So I'll minus the gain by 10 more. Let's see how that sounds. Still pretty loud. Let's lower a little more. That feels a bit more comfortable already. Now I'm going to do one final lowering. And I think that's where we're going to want to sit. It's not too bad. The cicadas are pretty subtle in there. And we have our sequence. So now we're ready to export it out to Media Encoder, the final export step.